Hey guys, it's Helen Hartsmith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. Hope you're having a good day. I know that I am, because spring is springing in Michigan. And I did a little walk around the yard today and I've got green things growing. Woohoo! So anyhow, I am here to record my video response for the 2018 YouTube Pagan Challenge for the letter E. If you know American Sign Language, that's E. Or if you don't know, there's like an E in there, so whatever. Anyhow, when I think E, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is elements. So I thought I would chat a bit about what the elements mean to me, how I work with them, and maybe give you a couple of suggestions on some books if you would like to deepen your relationship with the elements. So, of course, as a witch, the elements to me are the 5 sacred elements that are kind of personified by the pentacle. The 5-pointed star there that represents the 5 elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And so for me, when it comes to how do I work with them, well, I mean, spell work is probably the go-to answer for that. As a witch, I do spell work, and I do spell work to manifest change in my life for my highest good. And I do so by working with the elements and other correspondences to bring about whatever my intent is. And of course, kind of 101 basic lessons when it comes to the elements is that, let's see, what do they represent? Well, in the East, we have air, and air represents our mind, our intellect. And then we move to South, and South is fire. Fire represents our passions and the things that we desire. Our drive, if you will. Now, let's also state in here that some traditions swap those, and they place fire in the East and air in the South. And that's cool if you do that too. Moving on to the West, we have water, which is all about our emotions and our dreams and our perceptions of things. And then we have North, which is earth, which is all about grounding and keeping ourselves rooted in the moment and in these situations. And then of course we have spirit, which is our connection to the divine mind and the connection that we have to our spirit guides, our animal guides, our ancestors, the angels, things like that. And so those are the 5 elements for me. And as I said, I use them in spell work. I also honor them by setting up elemental altars in my home that have representations of, those different things as part of the altar. I think I've talked about it before, that shelf right there that you just can't see, that is where my earth altar lies, because that is north for me. My air altar is right above my camera in the East. I have my southern altar over here, and my west altar is actually part of my Bridget altar. They share space together, which some people might think that's a little weird, being that Bridget is a fire goddess, but she understands that sometimes space is limited, and so they live together in that space, and we haven't had any issues. So there you have it. And then of course, spirit is part of my main altar. So that's kind of how I work with that. Let's see, what else can I share with you about the elements and how I work with them? I did deepen my relationship quite a bit with the elements in my final year with my Temple of Witchcraft studies, because of how I chose to work my master spell. I worked with the different elements according to the zodiac sign that I happen to be working in. And so that was neat, because I feel like I have a decent connection with the elements to begin with, but it's always nice to continue working with them and learn learning from them, essentially. So another way that you can work with the elements is that you can go to the elemental realms in meditation and learn from them. I've done that. That was part of the year 2 exercises with the temple, of going to the elementals, and that's something that I did from there on forward. So that's always neat. It's interesting to visit the elementals in meditation like that, because for instance, it's really cool to visit the fire realm, and to be in meditation and feel the heat of that realm, and to feel that radiation of that power and things like that. That's always interesting to me, to feel those qualities as I visit any of those elemental realms. So that's definitely a great way to deepen your relationship and understanding of the different elements and what they represent. So I would highly recommend that. And those meditations would be, if we did it in Outer Temple, it would have been in the CDs that are part of that, that go with that. So I would highly recommend those. And then I grabbed a couple of books that I thought would be fun to share if you wanted to deepen your relationship too, and you needed a little bit more help, I guess, basically. Anyhow, this book, The Way of Four, this is by Deborah Lipp. And this is actually a book that my Coven sisters and I read together. So we have a subtitle of Create Elemental Balance in Your Life. And I enjoyed this book because it's actually kind of like a workbook. The chapters are broken up so that you deal with air as a separate chapter. And what you do is you've got things that there's things that you read, there's text that you read, but there's also questions and exercises that are a part of this book. And so there's exercises like, based on questions, it will tell you what element you connect to the easiest or the most, and kind of rank them in that order. And so then based on that test, then you could see, oh, well, I'm kind of lacking in my connection with water, for instance. And then there are exercises that will help you connect with water or connect with spirit, or excuse me, this is the Way of Four. So it only deals with earth, air, fire, and water. But I thought that I remember reading this. It's been some years ago. But I remember reading this, and I thought this book was really good, for what it is. And now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of want to go back and review it. So this is a really interesting book. Let me see, what is the copyright on this? I believe this is still available, and if it is, I will post a link in the description box. This is 2004, and so this is a sizable book. This is right around 300 pages. And so there's some really good stuff in here. Oh, wow. Yeah. I haven't opened this book in a while, but I remembered that I had it. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So yeah, so this is a really good resource for deepening your connection with the four elements. I highly recommend that. Looks like it retails for around $17.95. And as I said, I'll put a link in the description box. And then as I was pulling that book out, I also saw Deborah's other book, The Elements of Ritual. This is air, fire, water, and earth in the Wiccan circle. So this is about incorporating those elements in your circle and in ritual. So this is kind of similar to the other one. I don't remember if I've actually read this, but it is all about the elements. So that would be a good one to pick up too, just to kind of, for the element or for the ritual purpose. Okay. This one looks like it's $16.95. Copyright. I think this came out after the other one, 2005. And this book is about 250 260 pages. So another good one. I'll link that one in the description box as well. So there is my video for the letter E, elements. I hope you enjoyed it. If you learned something or did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We love to have you back checking out videos here on the Heart of the Witch's Path channel. Please make sure to check out my Instagram, which is Heart of the Witch's Path. And I would love to hear comments from you below. How do you work with the elements? If you do some things that are different from what I do, I would love to hear about them. So let me know. You can also hit me up at heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com. So thanks for watching this video, and thanks for walking the path for a little while with me. Until next time, blessed be.